Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of opinions about me and Munchie and how we communicated with each other on Tuesday. A lot of people's narrative seems to be as simple as like, Adam kicked you and therefore you you let him hoe you out or whatever. Which to me is like kind of mind blowing that that's an actual take that grown up people on the internet are actually throwing out there. This is what happened. We're on the podcast. Munchie shows up and he's like a little drunk, like a little bit, but like pretty quickly within the podcast starting, it starts to become clear like, oh, this is going to be a thing. Like this fool is getting drunker than he probably should be. Ends up being a 5.5 hour episode. So partway through, it's just starting to dawn on me like this dude is just running the whole podcast. Like he's just completely just, it's very hard to have a conversation.
He gonna tell us this is what happened. Like, we ain't see it. We saw what happened, bro. The thing about it, why they on him so hard, is so much scrutiny about it, because just imagine if it was somebody so-called black, right, who did that shit. And from my understanding, it was somebody in the building that was there with him, right? B team member, but they didn't step in. But if somebody black would have did that shit, bro, or would have been talking with that much aggression, it would have been a problem, bro. I'm assuming, you know?
To have a conversation when one person is just kind of using up all the oxygen and just, you know, I'm like, you hear this like early on in the podcast, I'm asking Lush questions, like specific questions about his relationship, because that's kind of what we were digging into with Lush and Germ. And then Munchie's just kind of like diving in there and like asking other questions, like before Lush could even begin to answer my question. And at this point, I'm starting to get kind of annoyed. Like, okay, this sucks. This is like bad quality content, I'm pretty sure, if I'm asking this dude questions and can't even begin to get a response. That being said, we're already on stream. I already knew this was going to be a long one, so I wasn't really like jumping down Munchie's throat or anything like that.
I can understand your frustrations, right? But it's a thing called fight or flight, right? If you knew you was going to be in some type of danger for playing them type of games, you wouldn't have did it, bro. You took advantage of the situation. You know what I'm talking about? Being that he disabled, this, that, and the third, bro.
So then as the episode keeps going, me and Munchie, I'm starting to get a little bit more annoyed by the fact that he's so drunk. And so I start telling him, yo, like, stop touching me, because he's kind of doing this thing where he like, as he speaks, he's tapping me on the shoulder. And it's really like, I actually really don't like that. Like I was doing a podcast with Brandon the other day and he was doing it to me too. And I don't like it. Like when people like try to get your attention over and over on a podcast by tapping you on the shoulder. Like actually my girl has pointed this out to me too. She's like, sometimes when you're talking to me and you're like trying to get my attention, you'll keep tapping me and it pisses me off. And through her telling me that I was doing that, it made me realize that it also pisses me off when other people do that to me. So I kept telling Munchie, like, stop tapping me. And you saw how it kind of went on the podcast, is that like he kept touching me, and I kept asking him to stop. And finally I kind of blew up and I'm like yelling, like, bro, stop. Like I was really...
Yeah, had a full bitch fit, bro. Went off like a Karen, like you was trying to have the police come, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like on some weird, just you overreacted, bro. You did hella shit.
Like, bro, stop. Like I was really upset because it's like, this is my podcast. I feel like it's kind of the least that I could ask for, to ask that I not be touched over and over and over on a podcast, or at least that once that happens, that if I ask them to stop, that they would. That like, you know, I don't really want to be doing podcasts with people who think that they get to just touch me over and over and over, and then even when I make it clear that I'm uncomfortable with it, they keep doing it. That doesn't sound like a big ask, but that is something that I feel like I kind of need that guarantee as a podcaster. So then as it goes on, he keeps touching me and he just won't stop. And so finally I didn't kick him. Kicking implies that I was like trying to hurt him with my foot. So I feel like kicking is like a total lie of a word that's being used here. I put my foot on his chair, not making contact with his body, just touching the chair. And
you know, I can understand your frustrations, bro. You know, it especially irritates you when it's somebody who touching you that you know, that you look lesser of, or that you super irritated with type shit, right? But it ain't what you do, it's how you do it, bro. You supposed to be the boss, but you carrying it like that. You trying to clarify, like, I didn't kick him. you just put your feet on him, huh? Oh, I kicked his chair. You wouldn't do that shit with certain people. See, that's the thing, bro.
Pushed with my foot so that he would not be so close to me anymore, so that he wouldn't be able to touch me anymore. Now, there's people who really feel like this was so over the line. I'm going to be honest with you. I would never hit Munchie in a million years because the motherfucker is blind. And I got love for him, right? But I think that in that situation, when I've been touched that many times and I've said over and over and over that I don't want to be touched, I actually think that that would have been a situation in which I would have been totally justified reacting with violence. Now, I would not have done that because I don't communicate like that. I would have walked away from the table before I did that. I would have just let the whole stream be done and just walked away. But if I had swung on him and he was a person who could see, I don't actually think I would have done anything wrong. I think it would have been fine.
Ruger could see, bro. Ruger got both his eyes. You like to play tough when it's convenient, bro. That's why you a coward, bro. You on some fact, and it's bro.
Because if somebody touches you over and over, and you ask them to stop over and over, and they don't stop touching you, you have the right to hit them, like point blank. Like if somebody walked into my office right now and touched me a bunch of times, and I told them to stop, and they kept doing it, I would be 100% justified in fucking them up. Now, again, I would never do that to Munchie because I got love for the guy. I understand he was just drunk at the time or whatever. But like, I actually feel like my behavior was that of a saint. I asked him over and over and over when really I think I was only required to ask him once to stop touching me. And then when it came down to it, when I really needed to remove him from my space because he wouldn't stop, I didn't do anything physically to him. I actually found a way to put my foot on his chair and rolled him away from me in such a way that I didn't physically even touch him. So if anything, I feel like I just need to be nonstop, just drowned in apologies. So seeing a good chunk of the fans out there say that actually I was fucked up and Munchie needs to fuck me up or Munchie's homie needs to fuck me up, it's like, what planet are you fucking living on in which you think that it's acceptable to touch somebody over and over and over and over, and even when they tell you to stop, you just keep doing it? Like, I've never felt more disappointed in the audience than when I actually just read people like Trigger Bird saying that. I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, you're going to turn this into like, oh, you're letting the white man take advantage of you? When the white man just exemplified for the whole podcast community, the white man just exemplified what maturity when podcasting actually looks like. You can have somebody violate your boundaries over and over and over, and you still...
He was violating your boundaries and your space and touching you in hellish shit, bro, which I don't agree with because it's what caused this situation. Now, right, when your ass on the line, it ain't no well within your rights to, you know what I'm saying? You trying to play tough, bro, right now, but you ain't, you know, I don't know if it's the testosterone or whatever you doing, bro. I don't know what you on, bro, that got you feeling like, see, the thing is, though, but it's deeper, bro. This situation deeper. The fact that he did that shit in front of his Munchie's homies or whatever, and the fact that he carrying it after the fact, like, oh, it should be apologizing to me.
You can have somebody violate your boundaries over and over and over, and you're still gonna wait and take your time with reacting. And then even when you do react, you know, you don't assault them. You just like roll them away from him. I don't know. Y'all tell me if I'm...
So there go Adam, bro. He ain't Munchie more remorseful for getting drunk on the podcast than he is for blood putting his feet on him. You know what I'm talking about? How the so Adam felt like he's owed an apology, right? He felt like he took it light on him. He a saint, right? So if you would have did that, right, and somebody would have slapped you with the heat, right, put a scar across your forehead or something like that, right, and not took it to the next level, would they be considered a saint? You know what I'm saying? See that? Because it's perspective, bro. From your perspective, that's how you looking at it, and you trying to act like you're just a savage, bro. Like you hella active or whatever, bro. What the How you didn't have none of this energy for Ruger, bro.
You want me to do it?
Sure.
If I hit you,
Go crazy.
is your security gonna run in here?
Hey, hold on.
What do you think? What else is he here for?
What else is he here
Your
for?
security gonna come in with his gun?
Why else is he here?
All right, but
Look.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But hold on.
So stop talking.
If you were really on some tough shit, you wouldn't care about that, right?
Listen,
I don't put myself out here on some tough shit.
I
never came on here and told I am the best fighter.
Didn't even want to get across that table, bro. Was about to put your security in a predicament, bro. And right there, and even with the Munchie situation, you did that weird ass shit. You definitely was about to put your security in a different situation. If I don't want to disrespect Munchie homies or whatever, bro. You know what I'm talking about? But like I say, if it was somebody so-called black, the outrage probably would have been. And I don't know. I'm just saying that if somebody black, right, it's the so-called. The disrespect, right, from so-called black people from other black people be taken as like, oh, that's an automatic death sentence. Motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine all the outrage it is for Charleston White, bro. And nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nigga act like, so at this point, right, it's freedom of speech. Everybody can say everything. We already know the streets is definitely not what it's cracked up to be. Nigga be popping it like they mobbing in the streets. You know, the certain people, right? If you carrying it a certain way, you gonna be handled a certain way, bro. In this new time we going in, I'm not even gonna sit here and back to you. Yeah, you think you promoting certain things, bro? You standing on the this that nigga, whatever, bro. All right, nigga, keep pushing that shit, nigga. Thinking it's cool, thinking that's what it is. Well, fuck if that's all you knew. You better find something different, bro. To change your mindset, change your mind, expand your horizons, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's many, bro. Feel me? But I ain't shit. Wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Be the kid, feel me? And yeah, like you wouldn't, I bet you wouldn't have kicked WAG chair. Now WAG put up with certain little shit for you too for whatever reason. I don't know why, bro. But you, bruh, you really crazy, bruh. You really sit here and act like, oh, nigga, I didn't really do nothing that bad. And I guess not, because Munchie still want to go up there and be at the podcast. Then the homie, it's crazy. Munchie say, he asked his homie, bruh, did Adam kick me? Nigga, you didn't feel yourself gliding across that room, like floating and shit, bruh? Hit you, bruh. He ain't kicked you, or he put his, or let's even make it a little lesser. He put his feet on you. He's getting too emboldened with his actions, right? But it's only with certain people, because he don't play that shit on the niggas around the corner. He wouldn't have did it, bro. I'm telling you. Yo, to the next one, bro. He respond like this, and I'm baffled, nigga.
Say, yo, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say, yo, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that